A Liberty family who moved into their dream home says they had no idea what was buried on the land next door, and they say the people who did know concealed the truth. Amy Hawley met the Spence family on their land.
I don't know.
It's Alice Spence's favorite, peachberry jam.
Well, this is from the Amish.
It's store-bought, the only kind of food she and Lee Spence will put in their fridge now.
When I first moved out here, I put out a garden.
She canned her own beans and preserved her own jelly, but those jars are empty now.
No, not anymore. We did. When we came out here, there was plums, blackberries, and gooseberries. You know, there was a farm.
In 1993, the retired couple bought 80 acres of streamlined, hilly pasture land outside of Liberty.
See all this?
The perfect spot for their horses, cattle, hunting, gardens, and a getaway for their grandchildren.
That's what it's all about.
But when they spent time on the land, the Spences noticed a stench, an odor they disregarded until 3 years ago, when Lee Spence offered to sell a part of the land to his neighbor.
That's when he said that my land wouldn't be worth a lot because it was next to a hazardous waste dump.
It was the first time Lee says he had ever heard those words used to describe the property next door, a hazardous waste dump that was closed in 1983. In a lawsuit filed in April, the Spences alleged their neighbor, BFI Waste Systems of North America and Lincoln Brothers, had reassured them before they bought the land that nothing bad was buried in the landfill. The family says BFI's corporate headquarters even told them about possible future development on the now grassy site.
They might put a golf course on it or a park or something like that.
The Spence's farmhouse sits 200 feet directly north and west of the landfill site, but their land butts right up next to it. A stream divides the two properties, a stream his cattle used to drink from, but no more.
My cows had come down here and drink, and I wound up with some aborted calves, deformed calves.
In the lawsuit, the Spences allege BFI, which has operated the landfill since the 1970s, maliciously chose to conceal the fact that the Spences would be exposed to the 160 million pounds of hazardous waste the state of Missouri confirms BFI dumped at the site in the 1970s and 80s. Those include herbicides, industrial waste, chrome sludge, paint strippers, and acids. Waste the state of Missouri says have the potential to attack a person's health, central nervous system, lungs, and skin. So the Spences believe after spending 2 decades on the land, it's why 3 generations of their family became sick. Alice says she's had a stroke and seizures.
I was in good health. Nothing was wrong with me. I didn't have any medical problems.
And Lee says he, too, was once healthy.
I wound up with cancer of the lymph nodes.
Lee told 41 Action News doctors also diagnosed him with neurological problems, pain, and cramping in his arms and legs that looks like worms crawling under his skin. The lawsuit also alleges the Spence's son and 25-year-old granddaughter, who had also lived on the land since 1997, now have health problems they say will be lifelong and will prevent the granddaughter from having children. The Spences say 2 dogs died of cancer and the gardening stopped. A spokesperson for BFI Waste Systems declined to speak with us on camera, but refutes the Spence family's health claims, saying, quote, there is 0 data to support their claim. And BFI Waste also denies withholding information about the status of the landfill, saying, quote, the Spence property is regularly monitored, and science continues to disprove the assertion that there are chemicals in the soil on their property. But the Spence's attorney says not only did BFI Waste Systems mislead the couple, but also that the EPA determined the landfill was polluted and had ordered an investigation 13 years before the Spences bought the land.
They're not anxious to spend more money, and the more information that's shared, the more likely it is that they'll have to spend money to be able to clean things up.
Within the last few years, near their dream home, BFI put up a fence and posted danger signs around the hazardous waste site. The Spences say words they wish they would have been told years ago. So for now, the jars for preserves in Alice's kitchen remain empty.
I'm 73 years old. I've lived a good life. I'm sad for the grandkids because I brought them out here, and I thought it was really going to be a fun thing to do. It didn't work.
The Spences want BFI to pay for the land they believe the waste company destroyed. But BFI says it does not believe the Spences' health issues have any connection at all to the hazardous waste dump, and recently asked a court to dismiss the case, but that court denied that request. Amy Hawley, 41 Action News.